guys, welcome to my latest video on English vocabulary, and today we're looking at castles, yes, and some English in context. So as you know, there are many kinds of castles, and in some countries there are some castles too, like Ireland is famous for many castles. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at some vocabulary related to castle, like types of castle, some words that describe the castle, and finally is some kinds like the places, some kind of castle too. So let's get started right into it. Here is the word castle. So we need to know what is the meaning of the word castle. Here, a castle is a pretty large building, like actually it's so large, typically of the medieval period, fortified against attack, and usually inhabited of the nobility, royalty, or military orders. So that is the definition of the word castle. And so later, we'll take a look at some like the rooms in the castle, because the castle is very large, so there are many rooms. And castles were mainly built in the medieval period. Here we have the word medieval, about 400 AD to 8400 AD. So here, castles served a range of purposes, the most important of which were military, administrative, and domestic. So there are some facts about castle that we should know. Some facts about castle. And by the way, what castle do you actually know? Here, castle became less popular for defense when heavy artillery and bombs were developed for warfare. At that time, like people fought and the bomb destroyed all the castles, nearly, because not all. Right now, there are still king and queen and still many castles. So here, there are some synonyms about castle. Here are some words like fortress or fort, stronghold, fortification, and citadel. Here are some synonyms that make sure to remember them. 5 synonyms actually. And here we'll take a look at some like the words that describe the castle. And later, some type of castle, because there are many types. In the old time, people built castles in many different ways. So the first way that they built is moat. It is a deep, wide stretch surrounding a castle, fort, or town, typically filled with water and intended as a defense against attack. So it might look a bit confusing, but just look at the picture over here. There's a the walking space that you can walk through, and here is the lake or some sea or etc. And another kind of castle is the drawn bridge. A drawn bridge or drawn bridge. There are actually 2 ways to write, but the pronunciation is totally the same. It is a type of movable bridge, typically at the entrance to a castle surrounded by a moat. So this is actually a moat, but the entrance is different because the moat has many different entrances. So you can see here, this is the closing and it just opens so that people can walk through. Drawn bridge. Sounds amazing, right? And guess what? Here is the Tower Bridge in London. You can see here, when there are some boat or some ship or some cruise that is moving through, this bridge will move up so that those transport can move, and when they finish moving, they will turn into a bridge again. So this is the famous Tower Bridge in London. Another type of door is portcullis, a heavy vertically closing gate, typically found in medieval fortifications. So you can see that it's pretty sharp, right? I think this kind of gate is for prisoner maybe. So portcullis. Next, move on to our next type outer defense. Here you can see this pointing to the outer defense. That is like the structure. They built it really safe for us to get safe. It's the outer defense of a castle, especially a double tower above a gate or drawbridge. So, this is a kind of drawbridge too. Look at the gate over here. We just learned the word. Another kind is the curtain wall. The curtain wall, you know, the curtain in your house, and the wall, the outer defense wall of a castle. So here you can see that this is the protection. Maybe like some people attack the castle maybe so that they build that kind of wall to protect the king and queen or the people that live inside the castle. Another kind of wall is the battlement, a parapet at the top of a castle wall, which has regularly spaced square openings for shooting through. You can see that the technique that they built this is pretty interesting, right? Because here, what is the parapet? A low protective wall along the edge, yes, along the edge of a roof, bridge, or a balcony. So this is kind of like a balcony, and this is the protection for the balcony. And the technique is pretty amazing. Just look at the picture over here. Why do they build things like this? Also, there's an adjective to describe the wall over here called crenal. Crenal. The irregularly spaced square for squares opening on a battlement for shooting through because each space there is people that have, because in the old times they don't use gun, they have no gun, so they use they play archery. It's a kind of sport too nowadays. So each people will have each space and then shooting at each other, like war happening. So you can see that, yes, like I said, each people will at each space of this wall. So that's why they built this wall so miracle. Another kind, well, this is very common because nowadays, the castles, there are also castles nowadays, but that is from the old times. So if you see many castles, if you look closely enough, you will see this kind of straight hole over here. It is called arrow silt. Arrow silt, a narrow vertical opening in a castle wall through which an archer that do archery can launch arrows, or a crossbowman can launch bows. So this, maybe some people that they want to get war in, so when the archer, they do archery, their bow will go right through the castle and maybe kill someone maybe. So this is very cool of them. And this is called arrow silt, which is very important for the war maybe, to kill each other and yeah, that kind of stuff. Arrow silt. And here are some kind of tower. This is a tower. Tower have many kind of tower, and each castle have their own tower. Like each castle have tower too, but the way that they built the tower is totally different. For example, this kind of tower is a flanking tower. Flanking tower, you can just look at the top of it. Here is a different kind, watchtower, a tower built to create an elevated observation. Here is another kind of tower, but this time, can you see the little thing over here? This little thing that attached to the tower. Just look at the point over here. It is called a turret. A turret that attached to the tower. It is a small tower that projects vertically from the wall of a building such as medieval castle. Only medieval castles that have this kind of turret. A small building that attached to the tower. Here we're looking at 3 words: lower valley, outer valley, or outer ward. These words have the same meaning, so you can use both 3 words at your choice. So you look at this, they're point all around here. So that is called a lower valley, outer valley. It means the defended outer enclosure of a castle. protect the castle. So we need this, really important for each castle. It is called, here next we have the outer valley. The outer valley that it is pointing over here, the inner valley and the central valley. So the main valley is all around over here, and the inner valley and the central valley have the same meaning, which is inside the castle. It is called inner valley or central valley. And for definition, you already know that, just to protect the castle. So if the builder that forgot to build these things, then yeah, totally flopped. The inner defensive area of a castle, where the most important buildings are located. So it's very important to build these kind of things. That every castle has this kind of them. And here we have another kind, which is the keep. The keep, or somebody might call it dungeon. The strong and most secure part of a medieval castle. So here you can look at this picture. Okay, so we have the Great Hall. The Great Hall, where everything is in there. The Great Hall was the architectural central piece of a medieval castle interior, and functioned as the social and administrative hub of the castle, which is the Great Hall over here that you're looking at. Great Hall. Next, we can't forget this room, the throne room, which is for the king and queen that is here. And can you see this chair over here? It is especially for the ruler of the kingdom from the medieval time. Next, like if you want to find more about this kind of queen, then you can watch it because I've already done this video. Next, we have another room called stables. It is like a room especially for horse. And can't forget the kitchens maybe. Here we have another kind of room which is especially for the Christian. It is called chapel. A small building or room used for Christian worship, like I told you before, especially for Christian school or prison, hospital, etc. And this is the place called dungeon, which you don't want to be in it because you might die. A dungeon is a room or cell in which prisoners are held, especially underground. So there's no food, no water at all. It's really bad. And here, over this, I also use some Irish castles. Irish castles because Ireland are famous for a castle. So the first castle that you're looking at is the Rock of Castle. It is located in temporary Ireland because in this castle, maybe it is built from rocks maybe. That's why they call it the Rock Castle. And over here, this castle named Drumnach Castle, it is located in Dublin, Ireland. And it's very special because it is located here. You can see the in front of it, the behind it, and between it. Next, there are also many castles as well, like the Blarney Castle from Cork Island, which you can come here and taste the Blarney Stone. And maybe like there are some luck when you do it. Here is the Trim Castle from Moat, Ireland. The Trim Castle. And this is absolutely amazing. If you've ever been in Ireland, check out this castle because it's fascinating really. Trim Castle from Moat, Ireland. Well, I've never been to Ireland before, but I've heard that this castle is the beauty one. This is a castle which the name is quite difficult to pronounce. It is in Galway, Ireland. It is Clúin Castle. Clúin Castle from Galway, Ireland. And here's the king and the queen over here. The Ireland is full of like bushes because it's from a long time ago. So you can see like the bushes are attached to the castle. Clúin Castle from Galway, Ireland. And here, the last castle that we're looking at is Dublin Castle from Dublin, Ireland, because the name is from Dublin. So that's why they take the name of it. Dublin Castle, which is very large nowadays, and maybe it is rebuilt. So that's why the color is still new, brand new. And that brings us to the end of the video. Bye guys, thank you for watching and we'll see in the next video. Bye.